Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Lim Seng.
Okay. Welcome back, all the participants. It is now 2 p.m. sharp in the afternoon, and I believe that all of you have taken your lunch. So, without further ado, let us proceed with the fourth presentation of the day and continue to explore and gain more knowledge from our upcoming presenter, Mr. Cheong Park Kin. Mr. Cheong has 15 years of working experience as a credit counselor cum financial advisor. He has also 10 years of working experience as a senior operations officer with the bank. Not to miss out, he is a registered financial planner with Malaysia Financial Planning Council. Mr. Cheong has graduated with a degree in business administration from the University Utara Malaysia and an executive diploma in financial counseling from the Open University of Malaysia. Today, he is here with us to share about personal financial management. Let us welcome Mr. Cheong with our warmest applause. Over to you, Mr. Cheong.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, Mr. Cheong, we can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear my voice, huh?
Okay. Yes.
I'm sharing my slide now.
All right.
Okay, can you see my slide?
Yes, Mr. Cheong, we can see it, but it is not in full screen.
Wait, screens. Just a while, the thing is turning, huh?
Sure, sure.
My screen is in. Y'all can see my my slide in full screen already.
It is in black for me. Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay, in full screen already, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mr. Cheong from AKPK. Yeah. Any one of you have heard of AKPK before? because my company, my organization is more known as AKPK than the full name, because AKPK actually stands for Agency Counseling dan Pengurusan Kredit, and we are actually very happy that Central College decided to invite AKPK over to be part of your this symposium for the year 2021. Okay. Actually, for AKPK, we have already been in existence for 15 years already, which is we actually started in year 2006. And come this year 2021, we are already in our 15 years. So actually, my office, AKPK, together with your Central College, actually, we are very near to each other. Do any one of y'all know about this? No idea. Okay. If y'all happens to see the Bank Negara building, when you all stop at the bus stop in front of this Great Eastern Insurance, which is next to it only that the old building with 6 stories one, that is the Bank Negara building in Penang. And actually, AKPK being an agency under Bank Negara Malaysia, we are actually situated in the Bank Negara building itself. Okay. If you notice that I put down my email address here in my slide as well, is that I understand that they are normally, after I have finished giving this so-called talk, normally there are some of the participants, maybe their family members, maybe their friends, maybe their neighbors or relatives. Some of them will have some repayment problem with their banks. So normally what they do is that they will email to me asking me on how to actually apply for this AKPK program. So that's why I'm putting down here my email address, so that in case if you have any one of your friends, relative, or even neighbors do really need AKPK help, you can email to me and I can actually explain to them how to go about and what is this AKPK program all about. Okay, to start off with our talk today, AKPK AKPK is an agency under Bank Negara Malaysia. We are established in 17th of April 2006 as part of our Bank Negara Malaysia Financial Sector Master Plan, which is normally a 10-year plan. For AKPK, our mission is to empower the household community and also small medium enterprises to have a strong financial level through education, through financial advisory service, and through customer focused credit management service. And our objective, that means our AKPK objective, is actually to be a leader and also to be an authoritative and trusted body in financial well-being, as well as empowering a financially strong society, and also to contribute to the achievement of national social economic goals. For AKPK, actually, we have provided our three main services. Number one is our debt management program. Number two is our financial counseling. And number three is our financial education. Bear in mind that this financial counseling is not similar to the counseling that which you always can see, whereby that people in so-called in a mental health problem then have to see a counselor. So financial counseling is totally different. Okay, these are the statistics that the number of people who have actually come to AKPK to seek for our help. In terms of financial education, we have roughly, as at December 2020, we have touched nearly around 6.8 million. As for the one asking for our financial advisory, that means they are seeking our financial advice, it's around 1.1 million. And for those who are red in color, if you notice in the screen, there is around nearly 341,000 who have enrolled in our program. And some of them have already graduated, and some of them are still in our program. This is just only a short statistics of our services. So just now I have mentioned that we have three main services. One is financial education, two is financial counseling, three is debt management program. So what do we actually do in our financial education? So normally for a financial education, what AKPK do is that from time to time we will provide talks, we will provide briefing, especially on personal financial management module according to age group. That means there are several age group that we targeted, normally like those who are still in the college or still in the university. Some of them are just starting to have graduated and then is entering into a workforce, and then some of them are begin to start a family, and some of them are looking forward for retirement. So these are the modules that we have for our financial education. In addition, we have a lot of collaboration actually. We have a lot of collaboration with various agency lah. Whether it's a government agency, is a private company, is a factory, is a GLC. GLC stand for Government Link Company, and also is a and also NGO lah. Because that is one of our reason is actually to increase the level of financial literacy among Malaysians. Because we do find out that among Malaysian, our level of financial literacy is still very low. And in addition to this talks or these seminars, we also publish articles and books. We also publish articles and books on financial matters. Okay, and we also have an online learning portal. Okay, if you notice that my slides in red color one, that is our online learning portal, which is free of charge. I would encourage students, or even for those who are intending to buy a house or start a family, to maybe to just to sign into this website, and then you can actually go through the modules. Actually, this module is free lah. Normally, upon completing these modules, they will provide an e-certificate for you as well. This is part of our initiative for financial education. On top of it, for our financial education, AKPK we also publish two books. One is what we call as Money Sense, and the other is what we call as Power. For Money Sense, it is published in 3 languages. It is printed in English, Malay, and Chinese. And then for Power, that is printed in 4 languages. It's in Malay, English, Chinese, and also in Tamil. Okay. Actually, this book, if you want to buy from outside, from the bookstore, it will not be available. You can only buy it directly from AKPK only, and it doesn't cost you much. It costs only 5 ringgit per book. And for your information, this book is purposely written in simple language and not on technical terms, because we understand that the moment you read a financial books and you encounter a lot of technical terms, that means within 5 minutes, the book will be closed, and then you will say you have better things to do. So that is why that for AKPK, we purposely write this book in a very simple layman language in order for everyone to learn financial management better. Okay, so on top of printing books, on top of having, we also from time to time we also appear in the traditional media, such as in the local newspaper, and then from the television, from TV, you can always see that there is comments by AKPKs on financial matters. And then AKPK, you can also view us in the social media. Okay, just a minute. The line is slow. Actually, AKPK, we also appear in social media, such as we are used in the YouTube. There's a lot of videos regarding this AKPK in the YouTube, and then you can also join us in the Facebook. You can also join us in the Twitter and also Instagram lah. That is what you see. That is what you see lah. In the social media. Can you see the slide, or the slide suddenly stop already?
It is still in the AKPK in the media, but now we cannot see the slides.
How come the thing disappeared? Never mind. I read. Just now, can you see that I have presented up to the AKPK in social media?
Yeah.
Can okay.
Yeah, can.
I don't know what happened. It shows suddenly it stopped sharing. Let me share again. Just a minute. The thing is turning. Just hang on there.
Yeah, it is loading.
It's loading. You can see that also.
Yeah.
That's one of the problem with this one. One of the problem with Microsoft Teams. Always encounter this. Still loading.
Yes.
I think it's due to the line problem. Your site still showing loading, is it?
Yeah, it is still loading.
Still loading. My site is still yet to come out the slide as well. It's still turning. From my side, can only see your. I can only see your this one only. Your picture only. The rest, everything hilang already.
Or Mr. Chung, you can try to leave and rejoin again.
And leave.
Or close the PowerPoint program and then we open. Hold on, participants. Let us wait Mr. Chung to solve his technical issue. Say hi, Hama. Hi, Mr. Chong, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Wait, because I cannot load the thing in.
All right. Dear participants, while waiting for Mr. Chong to solve his technical issue, just a gentle reminder that please do not forget to fill up the feedback form after this plenary session, yeah, to be entitled for our lucky draw session. Dear participants, just for your information, we Central College actually is located at Georgetown area, and we are located at the Penang Beach Street. And our upcoming new intake will be in September intake. So we have like diploma and degree courses. We have diploma in accounting, diploma in business, tourism, and also early childhood education. So if you are interested, you may contact any one of our management and to get more information. Thank you.
Mr. Tan? Hello?
Hi, Mr. Chong. We can listen to you.
Sorry. Sorry, Mr.
Yeah,
Tan? I'm trying
hi, Mr. Chong.
Okay,
We
can
are
you
able
see
to, yeah, we are able to see your slides.
the slide? Okay, finally, yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry, yeah, for having this technical problem.
It's okay. No
Problem
worries.
when presenting. Okay, I think I just now I have stopped here. You can actually follow AKPK in the social media as well lah. We are practically everywhere lah. You can find us in Facebook, you can find us in Twitter, you can find us in Instagram, and even in YouTube. There is a lot of videos with regards to this AKPK. Yeah. Okay. Everybody can hear?
Yes, Mr. Chong, we can hear you.
Can
Can,
okay.
can.
Okay, this is the second services. This is the second services provided by AKPK. This services is what we call as financial counseling, or what we also call as also financial advisory service. Under this financial advisory service, what AKPK do, where we used to do before this COVID pandemic, we normally have a face-to-face interaction with our so-called customers. Normally they will come to our office in Bank Negara Malaysia. That is before the COVID time lah. Then we will be seated face to face in a one separate room, whereby our conversation will be PNC. That means nobody can actually hear what problem you are trying to tell us that you are having lah. This is what we do under our financial advisory. And normally for financial advisory, what we will do is that normally we will require our customers to actually print out their Bank Negara secrets report. Secrets report actually stand for credit report, which I will elaborate shortly. Yeah. So what we do is that we will look at the customer secrets report, which is their credit report, and also we study the budget that we wants the customer to tell us. That means we actually provide them with a budget format, and then we ask them to calculate, okay, how much is the budget, everything. And then after that, upon studying the budget and upon studying their secrets, then we will give our advice accordingly lah. But whether the customer want to accept or they want to reject our advice is up to the customer totally. And then that is for individual lah, under our financial advisory. Then somewhere around November 2020, AKPK we also started to provide this so-called micro enterprise help desk. So what is this actually micro enterprise help desk is all about? Because initially this role is actually played by Bank Negara, and then somewhere in September 2020 this role is transferred from Bank Negara to AKPK. Under this micro enterprise help desk, what we do is actually we assist micro enterprise. Micro enterprise, that means like those small scale business, like people selling as a hawker, people selling in the pasar malam, that kind of things. So what we do is that we help them to apply for repayment assistance from the bank, because under this COVID pandemic, a lot of business cannot operate. A lot of business cannot operate or is suffering losses from their business. So when they suffer losses, this so-called businessman or micro enterprise, they will have difficulty to service their payment to the bank, whether the loan is for their car loan, for their business loan, or whatever. So what we do under this micro enterprise is that we provide free services to them, and then also we help those so-called micro entrepreneurs to submit their repayment application to the relevant bank. Because if you were to expect a hawker to go to the bank to negotiate with a bank, I believe that it will be a very difficult task. So that is our role for the micro enterprise. And for this micro enterprise, normally the eligibility is that their annual sales turnover, that means their sales turnover per year cannot be more than 300,000, and they don't employ more than 5 full-time employees. Okay, this is for our services for the micro enterprise. And then this is the third services that AKPK provided, which we call it as debt management program. Debt management program, I believe if you were to ask around, a lot of people will tell you that they are joining the AKPK program. So the AKPK program that they are telling you or they are referring to you is actually what we call as debt management program. It is actually a credit management program whereby we will structure the customers borrowing according to their repayment capacity. Let's say, for example, in the old days before the COVID, maybe for 1 month, the customer is able to repay back the bank, maybe 1 month, 800 ringgit for their monthly installment. But once the COVID comes already, where business has suffered tremendously, maybe for the monthly payment, the customer is only able to pay around 400 and 500. If the account is not restructured, for sure your bank for sure the providing bank, they will definitely not accept, because they say that your installment is 100, you are paying me only 500, so every month you still owe me 300. So eventually, after a certain time, then the bank will commence their recovery action. So that is why we have this debt management program, because we help to restructure the customer loan based on their cash flow. And how do you actually apply for this? Because if the loan is taken under the name of an individual, you can actually go to our website, this one, which I have colored in blue, edmp.akpk.org.my. But if let's say that you are a micro entrepreneurs having repayment problem, you can actually go to our another website, www.akpk.org.my/my/sppk. That is for those who are looking for help to restructure their business loan under our small debt resolution scheme. Okay, so how do we actually do it? How do we actually help the customers? Because by you as student and also as public who is listening to this talk, even for you yourself, maybe you're not having any problems, but actually you can actually pass around this message, maybe to your neighbors, to your relative, or to your friends who are facing financial constraint. So, okay, let me just briefly explain how we do it. First of all, we will need to assess their liabilities. Liabilities means that what debts are they having? Normally, by doing so, we will ask them to print out their secrets report. And then after that, there will be a face-to-face interaction. This one is before the COVID pandemic. Nowadays, we will do it through teleconversation lah. We will call up the customers and then assess, see how much can they pay monthly. And then after that, we will propose the monthly repayment to the respective banks and negotiate on behalf of our customer with the bank free of charge. That means we don't charge anything. So if you notice that from this budgeting things, if you notice that before and after the MP, can you see that or not? Above the digit 41351 before the MP, and then on the right hand side after the MP. Okay, if you notice, the total fixed expenses before the MP means that before this customer actually apply for the MP, every month for his housing loan, for his car loan, for his credit card and personal loan, he needs to pay around 2515. But after the DMP, if you notice, the amount that he has to pay is only 1730. So you can imagine how much savings that he's having, correct or not? From 2515 until 1735. So you can imagine that how much you have saved. You have saved almost 780 ringgit. And also, if you notice on my right hand side, if you can see the ratio there, the formula which I provided, monthly loan repayment divide by net income times 100%. So if you notice, before the DMP, the ratio, which is you use 2515 divide by 4135 times 100%, you have a ratio of 61%. But after you have enrolled into our AKPK DMP program, the ratio for your monthly payment over income is only 41.8%. If you happens to see what actually this ratio tells you, so I will show you in my next slide. Okay, you see, if your ratio, that means your debt repayment over your net income is less than 30% or even 31 to 50%, it is considered as a good category. But if your debt ratio is 51 to 60% or more than 61%, that means your debt over income ratio is not so good. So when your debt over income ratio is not so good, it means what? It means that you will encounter difficulty when you need to apply for a loan from the bank, irregardless of you are taking a credit card, you're taking a personal loan, you're buying a house, or you're buying a car. Okay, so what actually happened if let's say your debt over income ratio is more than 60%, it means what? It means that for every 1 ringgit that you earn, 60 cents you will need to be used to pay for your fixed payment for your debts. So you imagine if you take 60 cents to pay for your debts, that means you only have remaining 40 cents for your other expenses, such as your food, such as your utility, such as your entertainment, and such as your children expenses, that kind of things. So if your debt ratio is more than 61%, it is definitely in red. That means you actually need to do something about it, because if you don't do something about it, you will be even in a more and more problem. Okay, so actually what should you do? If you notice, I put down there more than 61% in my previous slide, you would need to adopt the 4A family. The 4A formula. So what is actually this 4A formula? This 4A formula, now there you see the 61%, you have to adopt the 4A formula. So what is this 4A formula? 4A formula is, first of all, you will need to actually admit that you have an uncontrollable debt problem. And then number two, you will actually need to analyze of it financial positions and then talk to your family members. And number three, you will need to take immediate corrective action. And then when I say that when you take immediate corrective action, that means that you will need to go to your bank, you will need to go to your credit provider and then discuss with them, see whether they allow you to restructure your borrowings or not. And sometimes banks or financial providers, they normally do not allow their customers to restructure. So the next step you should do is you should come to AKPK, which is your 4A, and then we will negotiate with the bank on your behalf, because if we negotiate, it will be an easy task compared to you negotiate with the bank. Always remember that. Even for most of you as students, you all don't have any loans first, always remember this 4A formula. Because to be frank with you, I still remember, because last time when I used to join AKPK, there are many colleges that I go through and give physical talks. I still remember some of the students, after they have graduated, and then because of poor money management, they ends up seeing me in my office, and then some of them can still recognize me. So when I ask them, what actually do they make? What mistakes do they actually make lah? And they confess in front of me saying that they fail to follow what I have suggested to them. But what to do, even though I suggested to them already and then they have made a mistake, so at least they still remember lah. There is AKPK around to help them to negotiate with the bank. So okay, what are these actually the criteria that is needed for this enrolling this debt management program? Actually, there are 6 criteria lah. First, they must have a positive net income. What do I mean by positive net income? What I'm trying to say is that your net income, that means after you minus off your EPF and SOCSO, and then after minus off your living expenses, but before paying for your debts, you still have some money. That is the meaning. Then number 2, your bank have not provided, have not proceeded with advanced legal action against you. That means your bank, maybe they have already summoned you to court, or maybe they have already obtained judgment, but they have not proceeded with bankruptcy action against you lah. Then number 3, you are yet to be declared a bankrupt, because when a person is declared as a bankrupt, he or she is not entitled to make any agreement anymore. So if a person is bankrupt, then he will need to refer to Jabatan Insolvency Malaysia. And in Penang itself, Jabatan Insolvency Malaysia is located at level 4 of Bangunan Persekutuan and Senrut, the place where you actually apply for your IC lah, my card lah. Then number 4, the 4th criteria is that unable to manage the debts. Number 5 is that the loan amount does not exceed 5 million. So what I'm saying is that when you actually print out your CCRIS, then your CCRIS there, the total balance that you're owing bank is not more than 5 million, you are still eligible to AKPK. And number 6 is that the loan must be provided by Bank Negara. The loan must be provided by banks or credit provider which is approved by Bank Negara Malaysia. That means, in other words, if you are owing along, or if you are owing credit company, or if you are owing your relative, that type of loan is not eligible for this AKPK assistance. Okay, so this is the advantages. This is the advantages. Okay, the advantages when enrolling for this AKPK program is that number 1, we will try to restructure your monthly repayment in line with your existing cash flow. Number 2, if your bank have proceeded with legal action against you, maybe they will require you to go to court or anything. Once your AKPK program has been approved and you have paid the first installment, and then what happened is that your bank will stop the legal action. On top of it, they will also give instruction to their recovery team or to their collection agency, which the bank appointed outside, to stop harassing you. Then number 3, you have concentrated repayment. Concentrated repayment means what? If let's say that a person who comes to AKPK maybe have problems in repaying his 3 credit cards and 2 personal loan. So after he has been successfully enrolled into AKPK program and paid the approved installment, what happened is that he or she doesn't have to go to the 3 banks to pay for the credit card and the 2 banks to pay for the personal loan. He just paid the approved amount into AKPK Maybank account, and then what happened is our finance department will distribute the money to his respective banks. Okay, so this is the 4 advantages when you actually enroll for AKPK lah. So this is also the 4 reason for indebtedness. If you notice, your lifestyle, your overspending, your circumstance, and your greed are the 4 main contribution to a person having indebtedness problem. But if you notice, out of this 4 main contributor of making a person having debts, 3 of it you can control, which is your lifestyle, which is your overspending, and which is your greed. That means, in short, 75% of your indebtedness problem you can actually control. Only the other balance of 25%, which is the circumstance, is that part which not able to control. So please, if you are worried, if you feel that as a student now you have very poor financial management skill, please always remember to always control your lifestyle, your overspending, and also your greed. Because I notice a lot of adults, working adults, especially young working adults, get into financial problem because of these 3 areas. And these 3 areas is something which you can control. It's not something like circumstances which you are unable to control. So, okay. Nowadays, there are so many banks around in the market where you can easily get loans. But you must always remember, when you take loans from a bank, you have a responsibility to pay them. Because a banking institution is not a charity organization. If you don't pay them according to their timetable or according to the schedule, your bank can turn very nasty against you. That means they can cause life very difficult for you. So what are actually things that the bank can take against you? Number 1 is that, okay, they normally, if you don't pay them, then they will ask their recovery team, or they can even ask, they can actually assign out the collection activities to a third party like a collection agency to keep on calling you to send you reminder, these kind of things. So, and then normally after 3 months, if you are not able to pay, what the bank will do is that they will send you a legal notices.
Hi, Mr. Cheong.
Requisition date, what happened? The bank will obtain a judgment against you. And once the bank obtain a judgment against you, they actually have 4 methods to actually get back the money from you. Okay. So I hope that as student, this 4 execution you all must know. Why? Because I believe that from your study, they will not actually teach you on this, because what I'm telling you is all on practical, all on actually is not on theory. All this is on practical. Number 1 is that the bank can actually have a writ of seizure and sale against you. What does it mean? It means that they can actually take a court order, go to your house, they can actually seize the asset that they feel that can be sold, and then they will sell it through auction to recover their debts. That is what we call as writ of seizure and sale. And then
Sorry
the
to
second,
interrupt, Mr. Cheong.
yeah,
Yeah, because due to time constraints, maybe we can have 2 more minutes for this session, and then we will move on to the Q&A session. Is that okay?
okay, no problem. So I
Okay,
just
thank
finished
you.
this, then I tell you all this one.
Okay,
JDS is a action whereby they get a court order, compel you to face the judge, and then you promise the judge how much you pay to pay every month to the bank. If you fail to pay, and then you will get arrested and put in a court's jail. And number 3, garnishee order means that means the bank will take a court order against you, and after that they will freeze your payroll account. That means when your employer pays you, your account money, the account in that particular the money in that particular account will be taken by the bank. And then the fourth one is bankruptcy action, which I think most of you know lah. Okay. So in view of the time constraint, okay, the thing is that the in Malaysia, the bankruptcy threshold nowadays is 100,000. And for your information, this is the percentage of bankruptcy. By if you notice, normally when you start to work, I think around age 24, 25, that is the start of your financial problem usually. Okay, so these are the causes of bankruptcy. If you notice, taking personal loan, because normally for bank, they like to ask people to take personal loan. That is one of the main cause of bankruptcy in Malaysia. And the second thing is hire purchase, which is a car loan. Okay, so what happened actually if you are actually adjudged as a bankrupt? What actually you cannot do if you are adjudged a bankrupt? What actually happened is that your passport will be blacklisted by the immigration department. That means you cannot go out from Malaysia. Number 2, if you are a bankrupt, all your saving accounts will be frozen. That means your saving accounts cannot be used. Number 3, if you are an employee, if your saving accounts is frozen, that means what, your employer want to pay you also cannot. Then eventually your boss most probably will ask you to resign. And then on top of it, if you are a bankrupt, if you are a businessman having your own business, then you are not allowed to renew your license. So in short, you cannot operate a business as well. Okay, and then for those working with the government sector one, if you are bankrupt, if you are a pension holder, it means what? Your pension will be stopped by the government. And if you are working in a disciplinary body with the government like police, army, if you are bankrupt, you will be taken disciplinary action. Most probably will get you sacked lah. Okay, so this I will not talk about getting out of bankruptcy. So if you have any inquiry regarding bankruptcy, you can actually refer to this Jabatan Insolvency Malaysia. If it's in Penang, it's located at level 4 of Bangunan Persekutuan at Anson Road. So the question now, after you have heard so much about this bankruptcy, about this writ of seizure and sale, the question is whether you want to borrow or not. So if you want to borrow, these are 2 types of loan which you can actually have as an individual. You have secured and an unsecured loan. Your secured loan consists of your house, your car, your overdraft, and your amanah saham, Bumiputra. And then your unsecured loan, you have your personal loan, education loan, credit card, and microcredit. And for your information, normally if you were to take unsecured loan, please be reminded that the interest rate charged by the loan provider is normally very much higher compared to your secured loan, such as your house and car. The reason is that unsecured loan for the bank, they do not have any collateral to hold on to as compared to secured loan. Because as secured loan, if you don't pay, they can always confiscate or they can always repossess your house and car and then so off by way of auction to recover their money. But if you're owing them credit card, you're owing them personal loan, they don't have any collateral. So what actually happened is that they don't have any collateral. So in order to mitigate their risk, what they will do, they will charge a higher interest rate, okay, for your unsecured loan. So, okay. This is what I meant just now by the debt income ratio. Okay. So normally if you want to take loan, make sure there is 3 things that you need to know. Number 1, make sure that you take loan for productive purpose only. For example, you take loan to continue your education as compared to you take loan to go for a holiday. And then number 2, when you take loan, make sure that it is within your means to pay. That means that it means what? It means that the amount that you're taking and the installment that you need to service, make sure that it is in line with your cash flow. And number 3, you have a moral commitment to pay back your loans. It means what? It means if you don't pay back, the bank will make your life difficult by proceeding with action that I have just now mentioned to you. So, okay. So normally for banks, if they want to provide loans to you, there are 2 things that they will check. One is Bank Negara Secrets Report, which the full name is called Central Credit Reference Information System. And number 2 is they can check a CETOS report, which is actually a private company issue credit report lah. This is a website lah. This is a website where you can actually go and check lah. Okay. Nowadays, we have this e-secrets lah, especially with this COVID pandemic nowadays. You can actually register for your e-secrets so that you can check your secrets. But as student, I don't think you have. As student, I don't think you have. You have any facility lah, except maybe this. You might have this. Okay. For your information, this is what Bank Negara Secrets looks like. If you have PTPTN loan, and if your loan is not well paid, what happens is that it will be reflected in your secrets, and there is always a risk, especially students after they have graduated and started to work and then they don't pay for their PTPTN, so their repayment will not be reflected in the secrets, and then the student itself will have difficulty to get a fresh loan, whether for them to buy a house, to buy a car, to get a simple credit card or even personal loan. So my advice, make sure that once you have graduated and then start to work, promptly pay your PTPTN loan, because nowadays PTPTN loan is included in the Bank Negara Secrets report. Okay, and then for here is how secrets looks like lah. So in view of not much time is provided, I will not actually elaborate on this. And so sorry, I have to speed up. Okay, this is how your CETOS record looks like lah. Actually, it's a 3-digit number scoring. And what does this 3-digit shows? Let me show you this. If you are in the green color and if you are in the yellow color, it's okay. But if you are in orange and below, that means you submit for loan, most probably your application for loan will be rejected. And I know some of you might have a feeling that after you have graduated, you decided you want to become an entrepreneur by starting a business, and then or some of you have already started business already. Maybe you want to extend the business after you have graduated and then need to take loans from bank. So this is what you need to take care of lah. This is actually your CETOS score, and the determining factors for your CETOS score is such things which, because of due to time constraint, I cannot actually elaborate for you all. So in addition to secrets and CETOS, these are another 4 companies which your bank can actually want to check on you. They can do so. Okay, so these are the 4 places where you can get loans. Licensed financial institution is your bank, cooperative is your koperasi, licensed money lenders, and also unlicensed money lender. Unlicensed money lender is what you know. Unlicensed money lender is your along. Never take loans from along. Let me tell you this, because along loan is very expensive, and I have noticed and I have encountered people who take loans from along. They have only 2 consequences. One is they either disappeared, that means run away lah, absconded lah. The other is they have to commit suicide because of along pressures. So always remember, if you wish to take loans, only take loans from licensed financial institution only. That is the best. And you can find the licensed financial institution from our Bank Negara website at www.bnm.gov.my. Okay. So this on SCRS I will not mention. Okay. So, and always remember, for AKPK, we have never ever appointed any agent representing us. If anyone come and approach you saying that you need help to apply for AKPK program, they can help. Please don't believe them. Because we have never appointed anybody to become our agent. If you need to get in touch with AKPK, you can always go to our website there to ask questions. So then, and you can actually request for a financial advisor, which also be known as credit counselor, to call you and then to talk to you over the phone about your problem and how to solve your financial problem. So for your information, all of the states in Malaysia, we have AKPK office except Perlis and also Negeri Sembilan. But in Negeri Sembilan itself, we also have a small counseling office there, which is attended every 1 month. But after the COVID have started, we have, for the time being, we have stopped going to the counseling office. And our office at Bank Negara for the moment is also temporarily closed. Okay. And also beware of this. financial scammer. Let me just show you a paper cutting because this financial scammer nowadays like to target student. Okay, they like to target student. So be very careful. If anyone were to approach you, okay, this is an example of some financial scams. Okay, and then if you intend to invest in this kind of company, you can always go to this three organization website to check. Okay, you can go to our Bank Negara link to check, KPD and KK link to check, and also Security Commission link to check to see and determine whether the company who have approached you is legitimate or not. Because we actually in Bank Negara link itself we have over 200 plus company. Okay, so before my talk is complete, your selection is where? On your left hand side or on your right hand side? You want a moderate but peaceful life without debts, or you want a rich life with debts and then have miserable life? This you have to choose yourself. Which do you wish to choose? And always remember, I'm sure that some of you will be graduating very soon. Always remember this. It is not about how much that you get. It's actually that how much that you can manage what you get. This is very important because for people, they will always say that not enough money. Okay. So this is the end of my slides, and then and also seek your help to provide some feedback for my talk. And I'm very, very sorry for the technical difficulty that I encountered in the beginning of the slide until I have to actually speed up in giving my
No worries, Mr. Cheong.
question. Yeah, any question?
Sorry, Mr. Cheong, because due to time constraint, unfortunately, we might need to skip our Q&A session. We appreciate all that you do on this topic and what you have presented today. And
no problem.
Really, thanks a lot, Mr. Cheong.
Yeah, you're welcome.
For now, dear participants, you may scan the QR code or click on the link provided in the chat box to fill up a feedback form for the session just now, which is the 4th plenary session. Maybe 2 minutes for participants to fill it up.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Without further delay, let us move on with our open forum session, which is the last session of today. We are lucky to have a total of 5 panelists comprising 4 speakers of the day and Ms. Ong Wee Ling from the Penang Institute. Ms. Ong started her career with the Socio-Economic and Environmental Research Institute in 2009. It is now known as Penang Institute, which is a public policy research think tank for the Penang state government. She then headed the Socio-Economic and Statistics program at Penang Institute in 2017. Ms. Ong has experience in academic research, project management, and policy consultation, and she works closely with various stakeholders for research-based policy making. Her research work basically lies in labor market analysis, skills and education, and economic growth. Now, let us welcome all the panelists with a round of applause, and I would like to pass over to the moderator of this session, Mr. G.L. Tan. The floor is now yours, Mr. G.L. Tan.
Thank you, Ivan. Okay, can I just test audio from my side here to make sure everyone hear me loud and clear? Testing.
Yes, Mr. Tan. We can hear you clearly.
Including from the speakers. Hi, Desmond.
Yes.
Mr. Chong.
Yes,
Yeah.
can hear you, GL.
Hi,
Yes.
Dr. Dwi. Yeah, thank you. All right. Now, let us. Okay, we have exclusive insight sharing moment for Miss Ong Wee Ling from Penang Institute. She'd like to share the future of jobs and education in the era of Industry 4.0 with us for roughly less than 30 minutes here. So let us welcome Miss Ong for her exclusive insight sharing here for everyone. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, GL. So let me share the slides now. Oh, can I? Okay, this one. Oh. Okay, are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, right. So hello everyone. Thank you so much. I would like to take this opportunity to thank GL, Central College Penang, for inviting Penang Institute to share some of the findings of our studies that we have recently completed, and also that's one's coming up, which is not completed yet, but we will share I will share some of the preliminary findings. So it's my pleasure. So I'm going to share something about the future of jobs and education in the era of Industry 4.0. So this is the content of the my presentation for the next 20 minutes. So it will be I will talk about the future of jobs in the context of Industry 4.0 and the COVID-19 pandemic. Second, it will be about students' preferences in future of work courses. Third is the graduate employability patterns in Penang. Fourth is the characteristics of graduate unemployment. Last but not least, I will conclude. So let's begin. For years, technological changes led by the fourth industrial revolutions have gradually transformed how we work. So as technologies automate work processes, some roles and industries are going to be disrupted, and some created new opportunities. So however, the COVID-19 pandemic actually has generally sped up these transformations. According to the World Economic Forum's Futures of Work Jobs Report 2020, more than 80% of the employers expect to make wider use of remote work and to digitize the work processes. So the future of jobs is almost here. So the job displacements are likely to increase as more work and processes are to be automated. And what World Economic Forum estimate is that the rate of job creations will be slowing down while the rate of the job destructions is speeding up. So this slide shows you the job landscapes to be seen by 2025. This is also from the World Economy Forums. So the new divisions of labor is between humans, machines, and algorithms in data science, AI, as well as science and marketing. So the growing job demand centered around data analytics, digital marketing, Internet of Things, and software development, while the mid-level skills jobs are to be reduced, such as data entry clerks, accounting, auditing, administrative, customer service, account clerks, and so on and so forth. So in Penang, as the most industrialized states in Malaysia, the four industrial revolutions will definitely impact the labor demand in Penang. So the E&E sector, as some of you may know, that E&E sector contributed the largest shares in the state's GDP, which has increased from 27.5% in 2015 to 30.8% in 2020, with the state producing the largest E&E output in Malaysia, accounted for about 35%. So over the years, the local and foreign manufacturing industries have gradually transformed, and most of them have a number of them have actually adopted the elements of the four industrial revolutions of the Industry 4.0 into the manufacturing processes even before the pandemic begins. So, but the problem now is that the industry still face one problem, which is the lack of highly skilled labor. And it actually deters them from moving up the value chain. So, to have a successful adaptations to the Industry 4.0, it relies on the availability of a future-proof human capital that supports the industry needs. So as digitalization is shaping the world in the future job functions will change in accordance to the tasks that I have said before, that tasks that can be digitalized, perform remotely, and are highly automatable. So to realize the realization of this essentially depends on two things. First is how rapid that the educations can change in view of the digital advances. And second thing is how many organizations are able or can afford to invest in digital adoptions. So this brings me to the next part of my presentations, which is about the student preferences in future of work. So for these studies, we investigate, we try to investigate that the students' interest in science and also their preferences in post-secondary courses. So we have interviewed 956 science and non-science students from 17 secondary schools in Penang through a cluster random sampling method. So what I want to highlight here is that there are three key points that I want to bring to your attention. So first is a majority of the science students express their interest in pursuing STEM-related courses after secondary educations. This is important. Well, the most important thing is that whilst only a small percentage of the science students reveal their interest to drop out of science. So, but the percentage is not big. It's only 5.6%. They are interested in finance, banking, and accounting. The second key results I want to highlight here is that a large percentage of the non-science students plan to pursue non-STEM, which is all right. But then it is interesting to note that nearly 20% of that, 1/5 of them, plan to study STEM-related courses. I will show you why they like STEM-related courses, because it will be related to the future of work, the future of jobs. So and the third result I want to highlight here is that among the science students, medicines and biology were the top pick courses compared against the future or work courses. Meanwhile, non-science students proportionally prefer digital-related courses, which are closely associated with the skills required for the job, future jobs. So, okay, so well, the country's education system aims to increase STEM graduates for the economy. Students' interest in science subjects like bio, physics, and chemistry are still weak. So it becomes like essentially some students are qualified to study science stream, but they also choose to study art stream. I think some of you may be in this situation as well. So because you think that, oh, okay, art subjects are more easier to understand and more easier to score. So this diagram shows you that so students from science and non-science, the responses from the science and non-science students towards the tertiary educations, which kind of courses they plan to study, is it in STEM, non-STEM, or don't know. So what we found that nearly, like I said before, 20% of them intended to pursue STEM-related courses, even though they are in non-STEM. So if you can see from the right-hand side of the bar chart. So to them, because they think that science subjects are difficult to understand, and there are too many theories, concepts, or formula to remember or to memorize. And then this will lead them to the poor academic results. What is more interesting to note here is that there are a small number of the non-science students, and these students are from non-high performing school. So these students, actually, they are aware that learning hard sciences, right? It won't help you to achieve the ambitions of becoming IT specialists, software developers. You can study arts to become a software engineer as well, or IT specialist. So this is a very eye-opening result that we have. And then what we should actually focus on these charts. Another thing that we need to focus on this chart is that the 22% from the science students and also 46% from the non-science students, they are actually they were uncertain about their future studies. They don't know whether they are going to study STEM or non-STEM. They have no plan. So for this, I think schools plays a very important role, and they should actually increase industry engagement, something like these symposiums as part of the school activities to enhance students' exposures to the requirements of the future work. Now, and next, these charts actually shows you that the courses that chosen by science and non-science students, and are they choosing future or work courses? Or are they choosing a typical conventional STEM courses? So if you can see here is that for science students, medicine and biology were the top pick courses compared to the future or work courses. So the future or work courses, we classified them under as engineering, mathematics, statistics, computer science, artificial intelligence, research design, and product development. So this represents so those who choose for medicines and biology from the science students, this represents about 40% of the science students, compared to not more than 25% of them favor over future or work courses. And on the other hand, for non-science students, proportionally, they prefer digital-related courses. As you can see from the bottom left-hand side of the bar charts, nearly 42% of the non-sciences express their interest to pursue mathematics and statistics, followed by research design and product development, and also data science. So this is important results. So what we can conclude for this session is that there was a large number of students who were still uncertain about their future study pathway. So one thing is that non-science students should be prioritized for the future of work courses in tertiary educations. And on the other hand, for students who are not unsure about their future study pathways. There's a need for the schools or the university to update students with the latest developments and requirements of skills in school. So specifically, we can have more career counseling, hand-holding support from the school. And then another thing is that the interested students, those students who are interested in like digital related courses, right? But they have poor results, poor academic results. The support from the school is very important, and they should consider actually providing more activity, like for example, like learning coding, computer science, and software development in school. But all of these are depending on the constant support from the education ecosystem. Now we move on to the third part of the presentations, which is about the graduate employability patterns in Penang. So this is studies that we are still working on it. These are the preliminary results that we have. We would like to share with all of you, I think, because we think that it's relevant to all of you. So the objective is try to examine that how employable the fresh graduate are for the different disciplines, and how skills are being utilized in Penang's job markets. So we have collected about 396 fresh graduates responded to our survey from public and private higher education institutions in Penang. We did this a few months ago, in April, May in this year, and our targeted sample were for fresh graduate from 2019 to March 2021. So out of the 396 respondents, 3/4 of them have been employed during the survey, and 1/4 of them are not employed. And the majority who responded to our survey are from engineering, and then followed by accounting, computer science, applied sciences, and others. And out of those who have been employed, a majority of them, 3/4 of them, are working in Penang. Right. So this is interesting. In the constrained labor market, right, this is about the salary. So a job offering a higher salary skills, it signifies that the high demand in the job market. This is the theory, the law of the demand. So what we can see here is that there are larger proportions of the engineering and computer science graduates are earning between 3 to 4K. And if compared to other field of studies, majority of them are between 2 to 3Ks. So for engineering and computer science in Penang specifically, is mainly due to the degree is highly sought after, and the jobs is actually hard to fill, and because of the Penang's industrialization's landscape. And which degrees have higher employability rates. So in Penang, we found that there are different levels of employability within the STEM disciplines, and it might be the same for the whole country as well in some way. So, but not all the STEM graduates possess equal employment opportunities. And what we found that with about 75% of them are being employed during our survey, graduates with the technological skills have higher employability than others. And as can be seen from this diagram. Okay, let me explain a little bit about the diagram first. And so we have 4 quadrants. The top right quadrant means that we have the degree, the field of studies had high employment rate, and also took less, a majority of them took less than 6 months to find a job. And then whereas the worst case scenario is at the bottom left. So those degrees have low employment rate, and took more than 6 months to get a job. So what we can find out here is that computer science engineering graduates have high employability, taking less than 6 months to get a job compared to graduates from other STEM disciplines such as applied science, pure sciences. So applied science and pure sciences are those like it can be environmental biology, it can be food tech, biotech, yeah, and it can be also pure sciences. Probably is like biology, zoology, yeah, and so on and so forth. So, but on the other hand, meanwhile, for accounting and finance remain the most sought after disciplines in Penang, with greater employability than graduates from other non-STEM courses. As you can see, accounting and finance is on the, and including the management is at the the bottom right of the charts. Whereas if you can see, the arts and social science or even administration is at the left-hand side, left panel of the charts. So, but a large percentage of them were working in a large percentage of the accounting and finance graduates are working employed in GPS, the Global Business Services companies in Penang, and also E&E. So, what about the graduate unemployment? So, a total of 98 unemployed graduates responded to our survey. Of this, we found that food and hospitality graduates registered a high unemployment rate at 36.4%. However, this is purely cyclical because due to the effect brought on by the pandemic. But what is more worrying here is that the pure sciences, social sciences, applied sciences, and arts graduates had 40 to 50% of unemployment rates. And this is due to the structural misalignment, which could be devastated by the quality of the educations, the attitudes of the graduates, the employability skills the graduates equip, and possibly a massively oversupply of university degrees for certain disciplines as compared to the requirement of the industries. So importantly, that the top reasons for being unemployed is unable to find relevant jobs. This is claimed by the students, by the graduates, sorry. So if you refer to the bar chart at the bottom, about 46% of the graduates choose this reason for not being able to get a job. And this reason was most cited by who? Applied sciences, those from applied sciences, pure sciences, and arts and social sciences. The next top reason is awaiting for job interviews outside Penang. A majority of them who cited these are accounting and finance and management graduates. So going by how long the graduates have taken to find a job, about 44% of them have taken more than 6 months to look for jobs. Specifically, about a quarter of applied sciences and arts graduates reported unemployed for more than a year. During the survey, as you can see from the horizontal bar charts. Okay, this is the conclusions. So in an era with the growing Industry 4.0, learning science courses may not necessarily enable one to meet their future skills requirement. So in artificial intelligence, data analytics, digital technologies have become solutions to many hard science problems, including biotechnology, renewable resource management, and environmental tracks. So an extensive integration of the fourth industrial revolution workforce is needed to ensure that a pool of the future-ready graduates available for the job are available for the job. So essentially, the future of work is actually enabling especially companies to enhance their competitiveness advantage. And with the pandemic, work from home mandates become a must or a new normal. And companies can search further afield for best talents with the right skills to find the tech advanced roles globally. So considering the shortage of talent among locals, so the local graduates may be at risk. They will become less competitive if if companies can actually look out for the best talents in the regions. So continuous skills and education upgrade is strategically in place. So, but as industry progress towards automation and digitalizations, we also afraid that the graduates may face underemployment. So this underemployment is not about whether they pay adequately or not. It's also not about whether they work enough or not, but it's also about symptoms for depreciated educations. So this would be related to the skills-related underemployment, which will inflame the graduates' underemployment if the future talent requirements are not met. So, and also because of the pandemic, this graduate unemployment will have long-term implications on job prospects if there is no action taken. But there are a lot of actually government agencies try to provide upskilling programs and also encourage lifelong educations to actually close the growing skills gap in these situations, and also to prepare for the fourth industrial revolution workforce. So all in all, a holistic transformations and constant upgrading through integrated education policies, addressing skills mismatch between Malaysia's education system and future skills are urgently needed to increase the graduate employability of the country. So I will stop here, GL, and we can take questions or discussion later. Thank you.
Thank you, William. Okay, so we are back for the open joint forum. So thank you, Ms. Ong from Penang Institute, giving us a pretty insightful information when it comes to employment, unemployment, graduates quality, mismatch of the jobs and the scopes, and also the mismatch of educations, and also talk about the depreciated educations. Okay, I'd like to offer the chance to the panel speakers, Desmond, Mr. Cheong, Dr. Gui, right, Dr. Lau, right, anything that you'd like to offer your perceptions or from a perspective, right, in regards to Ms. Ong sharing just now. But perhaps we can start with Dr. Gui. Hi, Dr. Gui. Is Dr. Gui there? No. Dr. Lau? What about Dr. Lau?
It's okay. I enjoy listening. I'm still trying to digest the numbers first.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we try to digest the so-called informations, the statistics, right, and also the so-called quadrants here and there.
Correct. I have a lot of thoughts that I'll share later, definitely.
Yeah. Anyone, feel free to share. Desmond? Yeah, talking about the forum, World Economic Forum, right? Talking about the decrease in the job demand, especially accounting and finance. What do you think, Desmond?
Okay. Basically, for me, because I'm in the industry, so
Yes.
I meet with a lot of bosses, and I can tell you, the world has been moving very fast, and it's going to be faster. So to students, not only students, not only employees, the bosses will get obsolete. Many of them will get obsolete because they didn't comprehend what is Industrial 4.0. Because for them, I have been doing this for past 10 years. This is what is the success formula. So basically, for I think there's a echo voice there. Can you off your mic? Okay, it's okay. So you see here, first of all, we need to let the student aware what will be ahead. Why is it IT changes that will change their directions? The ability to understand, the ability to sense, the ability to adjust and learn, ability to use the tools. This is what we want the student to master it. During Industry 2.0, we talk about computer eras. So yes, we humans are the one to input to the computers. Industry 3.0, automations of the machineries, automations of the software is still relying on human to input the data. But when you talk about Industry 4.0, human no longer the means for computer to get data. IoT. Now we are in the era of 4G. A lot of them, they thought that today we are already very modern. We are already very Changi. So if I were to tell you from my perspective, today is just the starting journey of the IT. It's just a very infancy stage of the IT. If let's say today the year will be 2025, we look back to 2021, you will laugh at this infancy stage. Why I would say so? 4G is for human and human communication. 4G still rely on us to input the data. 5G will be all IoTs to self. The computers will have their own eyes, like human senses. We have brain, we have eye, we have ears, we have nose. The computer will have their own eyes that they not only have graphic or the graphic, not only the graphic identification tools like Facebook, their videos, their CCTVs will have video processing that similar to we human to pick up things that we need into the computer. So the computers will have excessive data into the database, and we human with the role to interpret it, to use it. So that is very important for students to understand what is your domain, your business of study, use that skill, plan with IT. The IT impact to us will open up opportunities to youngsters because the old people learn slow. You look at your papa and mama, you ask them to click on Shopee, ask them to click on the Facebook, they're very slow. But youngsters, they already with TikTok, with Instagram. So you see it as challenges, we see it as opportunities. When the world changes, these are opportunities. The student need to aware, whatever you study now, the computer will pick up. Even if your biology expertise, all these informations are input into the computers. The analytics will generate from computers, but we need somebody to make use of the data. We are the one to do it. We must have the role to have the interpretation role on that. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Desmond. Because it crossed my mind that I just wondering because of the mismatch of so-called I mean this problem has been ongoing, right? So I believe you guys agree that the mismatch of the so-called the competency and also the job expectation from the employers. Would there be any possibilities, or do you anticipate that is a way, perhaps soon or in the near future, that we can make use of data, right? As Ms. Ong just now shared, right? Conduct, right? So-called questionnaire, right? To get the so-called understanding and also the perhaps the insight from the students, young generations about their expectations, right? But still, we see a lot of uncertainty, right, in themselves. They don't know what to pick, what to choose, what to study, right, things like that. Is there any way that we can make use of data to supplement or to complement this process, that we can actually make use of a scientific approach to do the matching? What do you think about this? Is there any possibility about in this regard? Dr. Lau? Maybe you can start with Dr. Lau. Hi, Dr. Lau. Are you with us, Dr. Lau? No. Okay, seems no good. Not good. Right. Okay. Is it Desmond?
Okay, I mean, from my point, my viewpoint, whatever statistic we are getting now is already obsolete by the time we're getting. We need to have the ability to sense the sensitivity for the world and to prepare what is coming between 6, 9 months, 2 years, or 3 years. We are lagging behind not only our industries, the whole country as a whole. The world has been flat because when you try to replicate everything in the world into digital world, I always say we ITs, we are the god in the digital world. When we replicate whatever into our digital world, our algorithm is just like the god command. Everybody need to follow. When you use Shopee, you have voucher, means you have voucher. You doesn't have voucher, means you doesn't have. You can't complain because you're following the rules. When all the rules coming in, okay, when we try to replicate everything coming in, I give you one example. Have you remember a few years back, 2, 3 years back, when your kids trying to play a game called Pokemon? That is the first time the human can go out there and feel so real. I'm with my GPS, I can go to the taman and catch the Pokemon. And that mean what? That means we are replicating where the humans are, the GPS into digital world. It opened up the Food Panda today. It opened up the Grab car today. If not, the Grab car were to fetch you, they will call you. Mr. Tan, where is your house? My house is behind Public Bank, turn right and turn left. That was the olden days. So when you see when any things that into digital world, that will be a robustic usage. We programmers, I have a team of programmers. We see all this precisely between, I think, for the past 2 years. You might think the world stagnant. I always tell people the world has been going faster by at least 5 years, and it's moving very fast. For the student, there's always a mismatch. Today, you still go for your major, whatever you like. You like arts, you like music, you like designs, you like the multimedias. Please, please, please make the computers as your tools. You are using the computer tools to help you to accelerate, to propel your talents. You do not draw it on the paper. You do not present it on your sketches. All these computers. So whatever major you are, please pick up the computer skills. That will accelerate your power in coming years. I will see the whole industries already. We can't use our old statistics to predict. Even the bosses are obsolete now. So that is what I feel. Yeah, pass back to you, Mr. Tan.
Yeah. Hi, Dr. Lau. Welcome back.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Did you get my question just now about
Yes, the mismatch between the industry and the academy, right? Academia.
yeah, and the possibility of using the data to do the matching. Do you see the possibility over there?
I think the problem is that most of them who complain about it is I always have this story, right? Imagine we roll back about 20 years or even 30 years when we were still using Windows 95. Okay, most of you maybe have not seen that. I use Windows 95. And let's say you enter uni, this is your first year, and then year 95, and you are lucky if your uni is teaching Windows 95, right? If you are not, then they are probably teaching Windows 3.1. So by the time you graduated is 1998. So the market or the industry is using Windows 98. Yeah, some of them using Windows 98, but you probably learn Windows 95 and Windows 111 when you are studying. So the mismatch here is, I think sometimes the employers set too much of the expectation for our graduates, and they expect too much. They say, oh, when you graduate, first of all, the purpose of the university is not to guarantee that every student is able to be put into a company and work. We don't know where the student is going to work. We know that there are high chance that they are going to work in that industry, but based on the survey, we know that, like from speaking from our experience, some art students can be a very good UI designer, and psychology students can be a very good UX designer, for example, right? Cross-discipline, they do not understand what is our workflow, how we develop an app, for example, but they are still very good employee candidates. So back to your question is, if we use data, right? I think to a certain extent, yes, we can. And this data will help us to identify their strength and their weakness faster, rather than just put them into a position and say, okay, take it and go and do whatever is needed. Because the company, they are under the impression that I'm hiring one person. I should not be I should not be needed to allocate another headcount just to guide this person. And most probably this person who guide that person has to be someone relatively senior. Yeah, so that's the thing. So I think data will play a role here, and if we collect the data points smart enough, right? Yeah, we can significantly reduce and optimize the entire process. Definitely.
Thank you, Dola. Thank you. Yeah, that makes the point. That makes the point. Okay. By the way, let me just briefly, right, highlight today's roundtable joint session. We have two main objectives over here, two key focuses and scopes, right, for the members of the audience to explore and review the plausible disconnect between academia and the skill sets most desired by employers, including the desirable qualities of a winning employee. And also the second point, to discuss the future of employability in both local and global contexts, where the employers and related stakeholders cannot escape the social responsibility in helping to bridge the gap, especially the skills gap, employability gap of human capital by means of reskilling and upskilling initiative. I'd like to channel these questions perhaps to Dr. Gui. Right, let me. Right. All right. Dr. Gui, are you there? It's on. Okay, temporarily not there. Okay, hi, Miss Ong.
Hi.
Hi, okay, let me, don't mind. Let us get through these questions, starting with you.
Yep.
There are
Yep.
findings, right? There are findings consistently revealing that most graduates needs considerable development in leadership, influencing, people management, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. So let us together, right, exchange deeper thought in this regard. Okay, perhaps let me get these questions over to you. What and how can the higher learning institutions do more to improve their competencies, since there are mismatch, things like that?
Hi. Yeah, sure. Thanks, GL. Sorry, my video was off because I was asked to turn it off. Yeah, so I can only turn it on when I am speaking. So yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Regarding your questions on what and on how can the higher education play a role, right, to improve the competency graduates. So when graduates attend job interviews, I would like to start from the basic, which is The first thing is that the graduates must be able to impress the potential employers. So how do you perform so that you can impress the employers? So that would be the interview skills. So interview skills are very important. How do you communicating well in your by bringing up your ideas and your responses to the interview questions? That will actually involve critical thinking, in interpersonal skills, problem-solving skills, communication skill, and so on and so forth. So what we can sum up here is that these are all the employability skills. Having said that, the role played by the higher education institution become very important. So in developing such skills before the students graduates, so how can you do it? How can the institutions of higher learning do this? Is that I think through the university career and development centers, what they can do is that they provide constantly provide the employability skills courses training to the graduates. That I think that will be able to prepare graduates for the job interviews and in the future. Yeah.
What about Dr. Green? Thank you, Ms. Hong. Dr. Green? Hello, Dr. Green. Hi, Dr. Green.
Hello, good afternoon.
Okay. Let me get you into the picture about this. What do you think? And then, do you think that this is the sole responsibility of higher learning institution, or we better also involve corporate side?
Okay, I'm not really clear with what you say. Maybe can you repeat? Sorry. Okay.
We have this statement over here, right?
Skype is not so stable like that.
Oh, your line over there.
Yeah. Echo happen.
Okay, let me just walk through slowly. No worry. Okay, as slow as your line. There are findings, right, consistently reviewing that most graduates need considerable development in leadership, influencing skills, people management, critical thinking, and problem solving, right? So in what way, right, and how can the higher learning institutions do more to improve their competency? And also, do you think that this is the sole responsibility of higher learning institution, colleges, university, or we should also involve the corporate side?
Okay. Oh. You hear the echo from your side or not? First, do you hear the echo from the side? Is it okay? My volume here.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Just there are interruption over on my side lah. Okay. Doesn't matter. I just go ahead with that. So from your question just now, what and how can higher learning institutions do more to improve their competency? Of course, everybody talk about what the future employees' skills needed and so on. So I will still think that the higher learning institution still play the major role, because the higher learning institution, they produce the graduates. So how far the graduates can go, what are the skill set they actually acquired during the 3 to 4 years of the degree. So we always hear about the gaps that happen in industry and academic. So what I'm thinking is will be also important for the higher learning institutions to relook, okay, or to reassess their curriculum. Okay, so to modify the curriculum whereby is more direct links to the industrial needs. So from various kind of learning approach, whereby it's able, I would say, is directly able to build the skill set that required. So let's say look at this skill sets such as leadership, problem solving, people management, whereby what I'm from my past experience, too much of the institutions, they focus on theory-based, concept-based, lack of the practical elements. So will be important for the higher learning institutions to blend the learning approach, teaching and learning approach, to focus more on to learning approach such as the problem-based learning, project-based, blended learning approach, whereby I believe it will actually help to enhance the employability skills of fresh graduates. So that is one thing. And of course, it's also important to open up the collaboration with the industrial player, because of course they have the first-hand info what kind of skill set actually they need from the fresh graduates. In fact, I would say the set of skill needed is actually not much changes. It's all the time that we have been listening from here and there. So input from industry is, of course, definitely is helpful. Is another party to enhance or to give more advice onto the curriculum design. So under MQF, Malaysian Qualification Framework, there are a set of a learning domain, whereby is to focus of the curriculum of a certain program. So what I see from the entire 5 domains under MQF, which is adequate to cover all the relevant skills that are required. So the curriculum side can be redesigned to map towards to this learning domain. It covers whatever interpersonal, critical thinking, problem solving, and so on. Even though digital skills, numerical skills, all these actually embed into the qualification framework already. Yeah, so can move more towards to the skill sets, learning outcomes matching. Yeah, instead of focus too much on the understanding and also the knowledge. So because what I observe, a lot of curriculum, they actually more towards to knowledge and understanding. Yeah, but not much focus on others learning domain, whereby to achieve a much more well-balanced learning outcome achievement, definitely it will help to improve the employability skills of our fresh graduates. Yeah, so that's my points lah.
Yeah, you make the point. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, perhaps I have to add in a little bit. In terms of the academic team, also need to be well prepared as well. So retraining, reskilling, not only for students, but also from the entire academic team is also helpful. Yeah, to help to move forward for the employability skills enhancement of our fresh graduates.
All right, thank you, Dr. Kui. What do you think about talking about these regards? I think it is also important for us to, I don't know, we have to think way. First thing first, I think we need to think way how to change the mindsets of those graduates, students, correct? Example, like, why I say so, because students nowadays, not all, but majority of them, they have the mindset of they study for exam purposes, okay, not because of for the real applications of the knowledge that they earn from the schools, from colleges, universities. So they study meant to passing exam. So because of the mindset, right? So what do you think in this regard? Can we have, okay, Mr. Chong, AKPK. Mr. Chong? Okay,
It
Mr.
has
Chong.
been
Yeah. just now you talk about financial right knowledge, right, things like that, and then right, you have your past students coming back to you, right, saying that, oh, I failed to apply, right, or what I have learned from you before, okay, while attending to your workshop, okay. What's the problem from that perspective? Is it because that they just attend your talk, right, without actually really apply, right, of what you try to transfer over to them, the skills, the knowledge, until they have to go through the real life experience, then only they get it, then only they, oh, that's not the right way. Okay, so I better have to turn around, right, by really going to the so-called application part, so that I can out from the financial trouble. You get my
Okay,
point?
okay, this is my own personal opinion and doesn't represent that of AKPK lah. I believe that nowadays, students actually, when they attend university or they attend college, the main reason is that they enter with the purpose of scoring A's and not to gain the knowledge. So what actually happens is that they have why do they have such kind of thinking is that they are purely influenced by their peers, they are purely influenced by their parents that they are required to score as much A as possible. So to them, when there is any course of study, additional course of study, like attending an AKPK talk, for example, they don't actually listen, with the purpose of understanding and with the purpose of applying the concept that we are actually teaching them. So as a result, when they actually graduated from their studies, whether they are joining industries or they are starting own small business, they tends to try only, they don't actually knows what actually is required in order to make sure that the business is successful. So when you use the term they actually try only, it means what? It means that it may turn out you are successful, or a high possibility it may turn out that your venture fail. So if your venture fail, it means what? You will get into financial problem, especially if your venture is financed by banks. So that is the start of your problem. So for me, I will normally say that the most important thing is that when the students decided that they want to further their studies in a university or in a college, the first thing is to match them to the course that they are most suitable. So when you actually match them with the course that they are most suitable, when they graduated from their studies, it is easier because more or less they have already decided what types of job they intend to do after they have graduated. And not because of and it is not because of pressure from their parents. Yeah, I'm sure that nowadays, with so much emphasis on scoring A's, most of the parents will want their kids to actually enroll in this so-called professional vocation, whether it's a lawyer, doctor, accountant, these kind of things. Even though it's a traditional thinking, I believe this traditional thinking is still ongoing. So when actually their son or their daughter who are more adaptable, maybe in things such as IT, or more adaptable in things such as like a bakery or food or something like this, so and their parents keep on pressuring them to study those things that they dislike, eventually when they come out, they are sort of like they just passed the exam already. I have the degree already, or I have the diploma already, but actually I don't know what to do because the things that I love, I don't actually have the practice. I don't actually have the skill in doing it. That is my feeling lah. That's why I say that there is a mismatch between the academical world and also the so-called working world.
Yeah, right. Expectation gap, not just skill gap, but also expectation gap.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Mr. Desmond, yeah, your turn to speak your mind. Hi, Desmond.
A moment. Okay. Okay. Basically, I think it's not fair to load all the responsibility to educational institution, because it's not easy to nurse out somebody all-rounded. You see, even you are parents, you are the parents of your son. You are 24 hours or 16 hours with them. You couldn't do that. So I think for the school, for the institution, what our job will be, especially these young chaps, they do not have experience. They are only at the starting of their life journey. We do not kill their inspiration throughout the journey. What we do is we load them with the technical skills, because when they come in for accounting, of course, there'll be accounting skill. When they come in for management or IT, there'll be IT skill. These are the skills, industrial, the skill of the institutional. You need to play your parts to teach them. This is number one. But for the soft skills will be, you'll be learning throughout your journeys along the way when you're working. How to deal with people, what will be the leadership skill. All this you can inspire them during the university's life. But you can't ask them to learn. The only way we can open up the youngster mind will be the crisis minded. That's why when I share with them, I always start to tell them the challenges ahead. With the challenges ahead, they understand. So what you should do, I tell them, now the world is changing. A lot of people will be being obsolete, even the bosses. These are challenges. But if you see the opportunities, it means that if you are doing the right path, you can overtake a lot of businesses, because the IT evolution sweep away a lot of so-called old school people. It open up the new opportunity, new windows for you. You need to look at it in a positive way, with the crisis minded, and let them know what are the changes. Then these young people, they understand the changes. They pick up very fast. They have nothing to lose, because they are only with the start of their journey. They learn things, pick up very fast compared to like us. I tell you, I look at many older accountants. They are still using a very olden ways of doing, because it has been many years. What does it mean? It means that if the university students, when they come out equipped with the current technical or technological advantage, you are the one will take over the job. You are the one will able to climb up the corporate ladder, because the boss will see your value. This morning session, I always tell the students, yes, you are accountancy students. You already master all the accounting, transactionals, educationals, academic skill. Please make sure in your mind, what's in your mind? You're helping the boss to be success in business. You are digitizing all the individual details of companies. You need to get involved, because of your position, your account department. You're involving with many manufacturing departments, the logistics. You are with the right to see them and use the opportunity to understand the business role and to get it efficiently run. These are the opportunities that the staff can get. I mean, these young people, of course, when they join a company, the employability, like what Central College is doing, is good to get us like industrial player to tell you what bosses want. I tell you, the bosses need accountancy student to know the business processes, because the bosses under tremendous competitions, they do not have to train you. They want to compete in the market. So they want the student, if it's good, come to the position, I can straight away use it. This is the hard skill or technical skill the bosses want. And along the way, once the staff or the students understand, okay, I already have the entrance ticket to the job. What next? What next? Second year, third year. Okay, now I start to understand the whole operation. What next? Then I start to have leadership. I start to have ability, the sensitivity, to adjustment ability. All this will come in. Once they start to be there, starting of the progression, this will automatically roll over to the next year and next year and next year. So our job is to inspire them. We don't kill their passion. I always tell the students, you study the subject that you like, because with the subject that you like, that will be the passion for you to move on. If you based on statistic and look at the subjects that you don't like, you doesn't like, you might stop along the journey. So it's very important you choose whatever you like, you do whatever you like, and please play it hard. Please understand the technological impact, because this technological impact not only on accountancy, everything, day to day there will be new information. So I don't want them to watch the Korean movie and waste the time. I want them to understand your progression will be based on your ability to pick up the daily changes along the way from today up to 2025. This is what you're doing. There's ample of opportunity because every changes open up new windows for newcomer. You are the newcomers. The students are the newcomers. So you'll be the one you'll be winning because you master the IT more than anybody else at our age. That's what I want to share to them.
Well said, Mr. Desmond. Right, thank you. Dr. Lau, I'd like to hear from you. Hi, Dr. Lau.
Yeah, I'm here.
The next one, because I know that you help companies to develop data scientist team, right?
Yes.
Data science teams. Okay, so my statement over here, there needs to be mutual understanding and collaboration between academia and industry in producing graduate talents that are not merely employable, but also worth retainable to grow in tandem with the longer term success of companies. So do you think that both academia, right, the academic industry in general and the corporate industry have done well enough in this regard? What, from your perspective?
Okay, so combining the two previous questions and also these questions, right? I think there are two parts that we need to address. One part is the student themselves. So we are expecting probably a bit of strong word, but we want ideally the student who is able to learn, able to adapt quickly, and then able to sell themselves, present themselves, and then articulate their ideas. That's one ideal situation, an ideal candidate. But at the same time also, we want them to be able to think independently, ideally to be a leader or innovator, right? And able to think. So, but if you think about it, these two concepts are a little bit contradict. So the problem here is that when we grow their data science team, I always tell the bosses, it's easier to take somebody who have the intention to become a data scientist, who wants to learn, whether they want to become a data scientist or data analyst, it doesn't matter. They pass it to me, right? As long as they're keen to learn, I have confidence to say that it's easier to turn them into from somebody who has no technical knowledge, no technical background, and turn them into a data science professional. Whereas if you want them to take one data science graduate that I've taught and say, okay, look, now I want you to become a data scientist in an oil and gas company, then that's a bit hard because the domain knowledge part is missing, and domain knowledge is not something that can be fast tracked. It's not like if it takes 5 years to gain certain experience in a particular field, usually if it takes 5 years, it's 5 years. But sometimes the company, they expect the students to be able to be employed and to be able to retain, and if you want to retain them, then they fall into the second categories, which is usually they are able to lead and they are able to innovate, or at least they are willing to step up, right? But in some cases probably they are not. So even if we expect the corporates to do something together with us to groom the talent, other than internship, some industry training, there aren't too many other things that we can do together. Like, and especially if we go back to the results part, right? We know that judging the students by their marks or their academic performance is not the best way, right? Because there are some students, like my academic result is not that good because I got a PhD because I do good research, not because I score well in the exam. If you look at my exam result, is terrible. So here comes the dilemma. So if we want the academic to work with us together, we need to let them know what sort of resources they need to put in, and then they will ask us the same thing. So I always challenge the uni is that when an employer come and tell you, say, you know, your graduates are not good, they are not employable, they are not retainable, I say challenge them back, because they don't know the research process, they don't know what we are teaching them too, right? The industry doesn't know what we have taught them, because we prep them for a broader range of skill sets. They're able to do research, they're able to do fundamentals, algorithms, they're able to do foundation mathematics. And then you judge them, say that they're not good just because they cannot build a website. That's unfair to us as academicians as well. Yeah. So I think there are something that needs to be done. Yeah. Quite a bit of effort there. But before that, both sides needs to sit down and to be able to identify what are the things that we need to do together in order to better shape our graduates to be more adaptable in different scenarios. Because the one that's important, I still think that, especially in data science in the field, right, is the domain knowledge, is how well you know the industry and how well you understand the problems that they are currently facing, so that you can smartly use data to solve those problems. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Lau. Yeah, everything starts with the precise problem statements. Right?
Exactly.
So we got to know where is the problems. What about Miss Ong Wee Ling? Hi, Miss Ong, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
From your perspective, as an agency for the Penang state government, is there any things that can actually from an initiative, things like that, in this regard?
Okay, for us, right, we don't do programs, so we largely work on like research. So we work on like pressing issues. We look at the pressing issues, what happened to the industries, what happened to the labor market situations. So so if you talk about programs, we rarely have it, but then we do have we do have actually private colleges come to us, and they would like to know more about how to do a research. So we have received a number of private colleges came to us that to actually we tell them that how do you do a research, and how and what are the methodologies, and what are the areas that you need to focus on, and you have to be clear about the problem statements that you want to put up. So this we have that's how we actually help the students to understand about how the real world research work and public policy. Yeah, and then in like going back to what Dr. Lau says, that the industry should play a part, and also the education institutions also should play a part. They should, both of them should sit down together to actually go through that what are the problem now, what is the problem now, they work together. And I know that we in the industry, in the manufacturing, high-tech manufacturing, we have Crest, we have some of the companies working with the with private colleges such as INTI and INTI Penang, and they have worked together to bring in some industry, to collaborate, partnership with them, to in terms of programs or sharing of laboratories with the site laboratory with them, and this is a good exposures. I think these are the good exposures for the students who are going to be working in the real world, and they should know that what are you they should know that through this program they should know that what are the expectations in the industries. Yeah, so that they know that what they should do is not because when after they finish their studies, they think that this is not what I want, so I will do something else. Yeah, this is just to ensure that to give enough informations, adequate informations to the students about what is the expectations in the industries. Yeah, if the students are not are not keen, are not interested in this area, okay, it's time for you to think about whether you are going to switch your course or whether you are going to gain more, take more courses, reskill yourself. And there are actually a lot of ways, a lot of trainings courses available, online training, free resources available for you to brush up your skills as well. So I think industry should play a role, and also the academics should also play a role. And for that, I think the problem with here is that I think one thing we can actually, I think in Malaysian university, this is what we seldom do, which is in a way to increase the quality of the faculty or on the latest technologies, right? Actually, universities should actually work together with professors or university from other countries. For example, the nearest one is Singapore. Actually, they should work together or maybe hire them as a visiting professors to give some short courses to the students. Actually, this is a very good exposure on what is happening in the world, and it's not only about Penang or Malaysia. Yeah. So this is what I think.
Thank you. Okay, so let us extend our thoughts in this. Right. Okay. Employers can actually contribute their real-world expertise on what they expect and need, and opportunities where an educational institution's syllabus can be developed, modified, or refined to reflect the rapidly evolving business landscape. So in what way do you think that this is sensible from the corporate perspective? And who should be taking the lead for such a win-win-win? The first win will goes to higher learning institutions, second win goes to the students, graduates, and the third win go to corporate side. So win-win-win, right? Three parties wins. Initiative on an ongoing basis. Mr. Desmond, I'd like to hear from your perspective. By what chance that you launch initiative to work together with university colleges for your SQL business software?
Okay, for us, your question is the dream of everybody, but it's not easy because win-win-win, and you fight with the cultures of the country, the educational system of the country, the mindset of the people. So you see, for our perspective, we have implemented the number of companies that using SQL is about 250,000 companies. Each companies, let's say 2 or 3 staffs, is about 1 million users every day using. And the feedbacks from the staff and bosses, we thoroughly understand what are the challenges. The whole key to get things moving, I always like to use the word, please tell them where are the challenges or where is the crisis. The only way to move them now, because the youngster, they are so comfortable. I mean, compared to our age, of course, your parents is not that wealthy, but nowadays, everybody's have house, have cars, so the kids are all pampered and do not take extra initiative. The only things can move them, what I feel, because I deal with many internship students, and I turn them to be a masterpiece in our company. So first thing, they need to have crisis minded, where the schools need to tell them how challenge outside. Secondly, tell them where is the opportunity, where are the opportunities, how to do it, what are the elements, like science, when we do lab tests, where are the variables to change the equation. Example, now the technology impact, the existing elements, what are the changes they'll be, what will be they doing to overcome or to overtake their colleagues, or to achieve what they want to achieve in life. And number 3, tell them the passion to work. Where is your role? you need to widen up the role of the students. You need to tell them you are not only accounting students. You are not only the one data entry. That's not your role at all. Your role is to interpret the data and to help the bosses wherever, whichever, to help the business success. This will open up their mind. The first day when they go to job, when you tell them this, I tell you, youngsters, they are like sponge. They absorb the waters. It's not like our age, you tell us everything today, you tell me tomorrow, I've forgotten. I got to remember it for 3 or 4 times. I tell you, the youngsters, they absorb whatever you teach them, the ability, the hard disk or the RAM ability beyond your imagination. I turn accountancy students into IT expertise, because when they have the right attitude, the sensitivity to learn, everything is different. So like schools, what Central College is doing, it is correct, because like today, when we share out the session with the students, it will impact their mind. This will make the impact, this will a seeding stage in their mind. When they go out first year, second year, third year, when they face challenges, they know what to do, because they know the ultimate objective. What they need to have will be, before the age of 28, they need to learn as much, whatever skill, whatever things come along. Please don't tell yourself any excuse that's why I don't like statistics sometimes, because statistics is just like a feng shui. Feng shui will tell you this is bad because this year this one is bad. So statistics will tell you this industry is going down, this industry is going up. So I mean, if you are in the right industry, of course you're happy. But how if you are ngam to be it's not you choose the world choose you. Sometimes you'll be in that industry that is not good. Doesn't mean to give up. So that's why I tell the student, that was the past. We look at the future. You just do it well, you'll be successful. This is very important for the student. You are accountancy student, your management student, you play your role well. If the boss doesn't value you, you become your own boss, because you'll be way better than him. This is the optimistic ideas or thinking that should have in every entrepreneur or youngster. This should be in their mind. This is what I feel. I share with many university students. I tell them the passion to work. You just go until wherever you can for the age of 28. Now you couldn't decide. You don't decide where you want to go because you are not experienced enough. You learn whatever at most. 30 years old, you decide your life path. You start your own industry. You want to change this. You want to do this, do that. That is the time you are able to do it with the higher success ratios. Because I've seen some youngsters, they start with their own business. Of course, there are people who success, but the chances is not high. But it's good that if they can learn along, learn what other people can start their own business. This is good also. This is my humble opinion. Of course, for me, I'm not sure whether it applies to everybody, but majority is useful for them.
Desmond, talking about your company SQL business, is it you are taking the lead to work with the colleges, university, or they approach you in the first place? How was that started off?
Mr. Giatan, you can repeat again because the line is good, so I can't.
Yes. Okay.
Your whole sentence of the questions.
Can you get me now? Can you get to hear me now? Hi, Desmond. Can you get to hear me?
A moment. You repeat again.
Can you get to hear me now?
Oh, now clearly. Just now the line is breaking off.
So, speaking your company strategy, right? Is it your company was taking the lead to approach the colleges, university, right, to expand your exposure of your SQL business, or the other way around, that colleges, university approach you in the first place? You get my sentence?
Okay. Can hear me clearly? Okay, never mind. The line is bad. I only can capture part of the question, but it's okay. For SQL, what we can contribute the most will be the immediate gap out what employers are expecting and what the university students that they have the ability that have. So we try to gap up here with two possible areas that universities doesn't cover. Number one, the business processes. Number two, SST to GST, because the school doesn't teach. Number three, payroll, the payroll compliances. EPS, OXO, PCP, EIS, HRDF. So this will be the immediate and is a pinpoint solutions that we can help the students to get ability. Of course, along with after they have the entrance, so it depend on them to ongoing improve. That will be the second stage. But we want to let them to get the first stage into the company. So that is how we're willing to go to share our ideas, because whole Malaysia, whole companies in Malaysia, we are lagging behind. Once 10 years back, I think 10 years back, we were being of Southeast Asia. Remember, Malaysia is the tiger but now I think we are the cat. So that is the problem that whole progression of the business or there are various issues. Of course, that's not easy to address today, but I need the youngster to enter into the company with the right start and with the right thinking. That future, these are the future bosses, future managers. Then this will turn our country differently after 10 or 20 years. And
Thank you, Mr. Desmond. Yeah, correct.
Hi, Mr. GL Tan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes more to go.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Thank you.
All right. So hopefully, higher learning institutions can do something extraordinary, right? For the overall better, right? Development for the students and also the society, community, and so on. Yeah. So let's move on to the next, which is in the interest of the students. Right. Hopefully, we can get this clear off. Yeah. Don't agree. Let's get from your perspective, Dr. Gree.
Hi. Okay.
Can you give me a quick response to these particular questions? From perspective, is there a strong connection between employees' performance with the academic excellence in terms of CGPA scores, grades?
Okay. Still on the line is a bit. So from my observation, there is correlation definitely. I'm not sure you hear any echo from my side. I have a very strong echo over here. Okay, now you can hear me. Okay, fine. Just maybe a quick one, my own perspective and from my own observation in the academic for so many years, there exists correlation between the performance and the grades. It actually exists.
Right, don't agree. Yeah, there's definitely a correlation. Strong or weak?
Okay, I would say it's not really 99% significant. Okay, so I don't really see a very strong, but it is. So of course, as I mentioned earlier, those with good grade, definitely it reflects something. Why person A can score very good grade? It also reflects how that students having the attitude, the right attitude in terms of achieving something that they want. So that is something whereby that is very definite. And of course, the grade doesn't mean it will determine 100% definitely onto the work performance. So there are also students score very good in exam in grade, but at the end not really able to perform in the job. It also happened. So I will not say it's a very high significant, but it's correlated. But still at the end depends on the students, how the students able to place themselves in the real working world. That is more important things. How is a mindset they carry, how far they see what they want to achieve and where they want to go. So you see, we have been discussing so many, talking about institution, talking about the employers, talking about the industry. So we should ask the students, okay, perhaps we need to discuss more on the students, whether they are able to see all the, because for me, I feel our students actually, they're very lucky, okay? A lot of support actually given to them from the institution, from industry, from the state agency. Okay, in fact, our PIDC also do a lot of events, program to enhance, to enrich whatever they need. So just 200 students over here, perhaps they need to reflect. We have been working so hard, so how much they actually appreciate it, how much actually they take home is actually very much depends on them. So if they don't really can open their mind to accept and then to move forward, so of course it is something very challenging for the institution to run, okay, for agency, for the industrial players to actually put in so much of effort. So still my message to the students, yeah, hopefully they all learn something.
Ms. Ong, any statistics from your side in this regard?
There's no statistics, and I mean for CPA or CPGA, is it the performance? We haven't done studies about this, that to look at the correlations between the work performance and the CGPA.
Time for you to consider.
Maybe we should consider that as yeah, in the future.
All right, thank you. Do you have any things to have a quick say?
Well, if you ask me, well, I think it depends on the industries. So if you have a very good CPGA, for example, if we talk about our industry, so in public policies, I think result is rather important for to judge that. Yeah.
Is it because of the technical skills?
Yes, it's because of the technical skills, the knowledge that they learn from the universities. Because for our industries, it is actually, I would say, the relatedness of the industry to the universities. What they learn from the university is high. So what do I mean is that whatever skills that you learn from the universities in terms of research, you can actually use it in our organizations. So I think in public policy is very different from the rest of the industries, like in accounting, in engineering, and so on and so forth. So I think the most important thing is that if you have a good CGPA, it's that is for maybe for your first job. Then after that, it will be about your work experience. What kind of work experience that you gain? What kind of skills on the job trainings? What kind of skills that you obtain, equipped with, and along the way, do you pick up new skills? That would be more important if you want to be competing in the future work.
Thank you very much.
To add on here.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
our company SPL, our criteria will be taking CGPA 3.8 and above to be our staff.
Sorry, come again.
The full
CGPA. Sorry. CGPA 3.5 and above.
3.8 critical performance fund and above.
And above, only you consider to interview.
Yes. Only I consider, and for GPA 3.99, 3.93, 3.88. There's many of them. This pandemic has brought us the opportunity to get the best staff in the. What are the difference between higher CGPA staff and normal staff? It doesn't mean that the normal staff couldn't succeed. I do have. Okay, this is R&D department. I'm talking about the programming department. 3.8 is my minimum requirement. If my and support CGPA 3.0 is good enough, because there are two different things. I just tell you, I want to share with you what are the difference, because I want the student understand the difference. Although their CGPA is less than 3.8, no worry. I tell you why, what are the difference. When we come into a meeting, example, when I have my previous batch of staff, a normal batch of staff, in a meeting, management or boss, we try to talk more. We'll tell you the whole software, it need to be with these features, with these functions, with these directions, with this interface, because we have been years, 2 or 3 years, 5 years in the market. We have a lot of customers. This is what we think. Yes, the normal students, programmers, they will carry out what you tell them. Perfectly, no problem. Perfectly right. End of the day, the piece of work is what the boss saying. The ability of boss will determine the quality of work, the direction of the company, because the staff, they listen and follow. When you have a batch of staff that CGPA high, they will tell you, boss, I think you are wrong this area. I think this is not right, because the nowadays no people do this. Nowadays you see the other software like Shopee they have this. They don't use your way already. They don't use the hamburger bar already. They don't use this already. Then we tell them, hey, then in that way, what will be the best solution? No worry, they couldn't answer you there and then. What they will do? They couldn't tell you what are the solutions, because suddenly you tell the topic. Of course, they will tell you not right, but they doesn't have the solution. It's okay. After 2 or 3 days, they will come back to you. They will tell you, boss, that day I say this is not right, but I go to Google and research. This will be the document, a few examples of foreign software, how they deal with this part. There are few options. That is totally different than what we are thinking, because our age, we are using the past experience. Their age, their ability to research. What the boss want? We want you, when we tell the staff something, yes, you can carry out, but please go and find out the other best way or better way of doing things. You come to us, you impress us. No matter what is your CGPA, you'll be passionate in your life. You come to tell the boss, your control on this purchase department. If you can use this way, you'll be better, efficient, cost saving, less mistake, less return. This is what the bosses want. I want the creativity. I want a different mind that you open for the options and come back to tell us. Today in SQL, we are lucky is because the employment rate outside is low. That's why when we go to universities, I always take the clean stuff, because there's ample of supplies. Those days, I still remember 3 years back, I got to fight with Huawei. I got to fight with whom? I got to fight with this Ericsson. Nowadays, all this company gone. I go and support, everybody come to us. So this is our opportunity, but it doesn't mean, because when we have choice, so of course CGPA will be the determining factor. But if you go in like accountancy, you go in a company, you play the role of what these guys have. When your boss asks you to prepare the aging report, yes, you prepare the aging report, then you think, what will be the better information to portray for your boss to decide whom to pay? Maybe the last 6 months average purchase or average payment to this supplier, that additional 1 column to help the boss to decide on the limited financial resources to pay to which suppliers earlier. That will help also. So these are we call it these are the special abilities that we are looking at, that you must master it.
Okay, thank you, Desmond. Thank you. So unfortunately, due to the time limit, we have to wrap up the session. It is definitely our great honor to have Dr. Gui from PYDC, right, Mr. Desmond from SQL Business Software, right, Dr. Lau from LEAD, Mr. Cheong, AKPK, and Ms. Ong Wheeling from Penang Institute. Definitely, the honor is ours to have you today to share with us great insights and very informative sessions. And I believe also to the members of the audience at large. Right. Okay. So session over to our moderator, MC, student MC, Ivan.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. GL, and all the panelists for such an impactful discussion during the open forum session. I'm sure that our participants definitely learned a lot from this session. And I'll pass back the session to Hui Yi for the next ceremony. Over to you, Hui Yi.
Thank you, Kim Seng, and thank you, Mr. GL Tan, for the impeccable open forum session just now. I hope every participant has truly enjoyed the topics shared and gained insightful thoughts of our guest speakers and panelists of today. While the first day of Symposium 2001 has come to an end, and I would like to express our sincere, heartfelt appreciation to our speakers and panelists for such a valuable sharing of the day. Now, I would like to invite our Deputy Principal and Director of Studies of Central College Penang, Mr. Tan Peng Hui, to present the e-certificates to our honorable guest speakers and panelists. Over to you, Mr. Tan.
Thank you so much, Hui Yi. Okay, it has been a long day, and on behalf of the management of Central College Penang, as well as the organizing committee for Symposium 2021, I would like to say a big thank you to all the honorable speakers and panelists for their valuable time, and also their passionate, passionate sharing of knowledge and expertise with all the participants today. I believe that they benefits, a lot from the session today. Thank you so much.
Okay, right now will be the e-certificates ceremony. So firstly, thank you, Dr. Gui from PYDC. Dr. Gui and Mr. Tan, let's take a picture together with this certificate, please.
Thank you, Dr. Gui.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Tan. Thank you, everyone, for putting in the effort. Okay.
Okay, let's take a picture. 1, 2, 3.
Jeez.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Gui. Thank you so much. And nextly, we would like to thank Mr. Desmond from SQL Business Software Malaysia.
Hi.
Mr. Desmond and Mr. Tan, let's take a picture together.
Thank you, Mr. Desmond.
Thank you for having me here. So I will sound a bit harsh, but I would like the students to get my message. It's helpful to them.
Yes, but you can be, you can sound passionate.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take a picture. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you, Mr. Desmond.
Yes.
And next, we would like to thank Dr. Lau from LEAD Malaysia. Thank you, Dr. Lau. Dr. Lau, let's take a picture together with the certificate, please. Dr. Lau,
maybe Dr. Lau is busy, perhaps.
Okay, it's okay. Let's move on to the next one.
Yes, move on. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And next one, thank you, Mr. Cheong from the Credit Counseling and Debt Management Agency. Thank you, Mr. Cheong. Let's take a picture together.
Hi, Mr. Chung. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chung. Thank you so much. And last but not least, a great thanks to our open forum panelist, Ms. Ong Wei Leng from Penang Institute, Malaysia. Hi, Ms. Ong.
Hi,
Let's take a
hi.
picture
Thank you so much
together.
for
Thank you,
having
Miss
me.
Ong. Yes.
Okay, 1, 2,
But
3.
Miss Ong, her video.
Yeah, she's been spotlighted.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you, Miss Ong. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, for the next one, we would like to once again a little appreciation moment to our sponsors, youthtoday.com, Hatana Mutera Management and Consultant, ZBH Hias Construction, Ong Foundry, Mistral Sui Gig, and Central College Penang. We couldn't have done it without your support. Now, every participant and the speakers have taken your time out of your busy personal schedules to attend the first day of our Symposium 2021, and I hope you guys had a great time today with us. And now let us have a group photo together. But first, we would like to invite the guest speakers and panelists and Dr. Chang, Mr. PH Tan, and Ms. Niao first. Okay, so the participants, please wait for a while, all right? So the guest speakers and panelists, we would like to ask you all to, yes, turn on your camera, please. Okay, is everyone okay?
Yes.
All right, let's take a picture. 1, 2, 3.
Cheers.
Okay, another one would be a thumbs up, please. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, thank you so much to the guest speakers and panelists, and also Dr. Chang, Mr. Tan, and Ms. Now. Well, now would be the committees and the participants of Symposium 2021. So everyone, please switch on your camera. We would like to see you guys all. It's been whole day. Show your faces. So the committees and the participants, please switch on your camera. Can you guys switch on your camera? Miss Sasi, do the participants have the access to the camera?
Yes, they do.
All right. Participants, please wait for a while, right? Really sorry about that. So every participants, are you guys ready? All right, we shall take a picture right now. Okay, so just smile. Okay, you may do whatever you want. You may do a thumbs up. You may do a yay or what. Okay, you can just do whatever you want. Okay, okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, maybe one more. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, last one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, every single one. Thank you, participants. Thank you, the guest speakers, and also the panelists as well. Thank you so much. Okay, you may switch off your camera now. Okay, so a little, it's okay, we'll wait for the Miss Sasi to put on the slides first. Okay, so a little sneak peek for you all tomorrow. So there will be an exciting sessions with the speakers from Dell Technologies, from Deloitte, from University of Science Malaysia, from Talent Corp, and a panelist who is all the way from the University of Phuket Rajabhat, Thailand. So do attend the event tomorrow to be entitled for e-certificates and lucky draw. So there will be a total of 21 lucky draw slots for those who attended the Symposium 2021 2 days in a row. Okay, so don't miss this out, and we shall see you guys again tomorrow. Okay, so goodbye and have a nice day. So if you may leave the meeting room right now, or if you have any questions, please type them into the chat box. We'll be delighted to answer it for you. Goodbye and have a nice day. Goodbye, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Yeah, see you all tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Bye. See you tomorrow.